have we ever lost faith in Aikido? Did we ever stop training? Did we ever leave?
Yes, we did.
Let's have a look at this.
Stealing my lines, man.
Did we ever leave Aikido? Did we ever say, that's it, we're leaving, I had enough, it's no good, it's rubbish? Okay.
I know I did.
Yeah, okay, tell me.
When I originally started training when I was probably about 18 years old. And I remember learning some techniques. You know, it was all good when you come back home to your brothers and sisters and you say, look, let me show you something. Yeah, grab me here. And you do a technique on them and you show them. They're like, oh, wow, yeah, that's amazing. But then I realized.
I like that. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was. But then I realized, slowly started to realize, being in real situations, that a lot of the techniques, I just couldn't make them work. I couldn't make them work. Now, I think back then, I put it down to the Aikido. But if I look at it now, it was probably down to me not implementing certain techniques properly. And I hadn't learned enough, hadn't been in enough real life situations to really understand how they work on the street.
When I first started training in Aikido, it just seemed like absolute nonsense. And all it just seemed like is like people were like kind of skipping about, and it just seemed soft. It just seemed stupid. And I went to look at a couple when I first started. I went round to look at a couple of dojos to see what they were, and yeah, I just wasn't convinced. I did actually train in one or two before I eventually found my dojo. And it just, so really, basically, and we've talked about this before, there's a huge variation in terms of the training and the dojos and the effectiveness of the techniques. Some are good, some are absolutely rubbish, okay? But that won't be a surprise to anybody that watches our channel.
Another reason why people may either stop training or may be deterred, people have said to me that Aikido just isn't manly enough. Look at me. It's not manly enough for you. But yeah, but I get it. It's like, you know, a lot of people, they want, you know, the what's it called? Krav Maga?
Krav Maga.
Krav Maga.
Krav Maga.
Yeah. You know, that stuff. And it's more like, and what's the one that guy does with the elbows and he's doing all this stamping stuff and all that. It just seems like brutal, you know, and it seems manly. Where Aikido is more kind of, you know, they just say it doesn't seem manly enough. So they don't want to be almost seen doing that. I think people who generally do Aikido people have an impression of them that we're maybe even peaceful kind of hippies. Like,
hey man,
yeah,
relax.
Peace and love, man. I just want to just throw you over here and make you lie down on the floor kind of thing. But it's not like that. It's not like that. We implement techniques which are manly. You know, you want to, you know, it's more about the combat way of Aikido. You'll learn the traditional stuff, but you'll also learn the combat way, which is real manly.
The way of combat.
Indeed.
I like that.
The manly way of combat.
Yeah. That's going to be on the new t-shirts. Okay, the way of combat. By the way, if you want any of the current t-shirts, okay, get them now before we change them, because we are going to be changing them. The way of combat. Love that. Love that. A question that I was asked was that when they go to the dojo, they're kind of like skipping around and everything seems light, and you know, and again, okay, all I can say is that if that is used as a means to an end, and so it's the process of understanding the way a technique moves, then excellent, okay? But if it stops there and you don't pressure test it okay, like Azu keeps on talking about, then it becomes absolutely nonsense and a waste of time, because you're doing something and it is a form that you're using, but you're not seeing its full capacity. You're not understanding exactly what happens. You're not understanding the clash. You're not understanding the mistakes. So all of this floating around, yes, it can put people off, okay? If it's not going further than that, then it is a problem, okay? Certainly in our dojo, we do use the circles, we do use the shapes, we do use everything, but at the end of that, we do actually bring it into the real world in terms of how to actually use it on the street. Here you go, I'm doing what Azu does now.
Could have found in your pocket.
Don't forget our training academy online. Go and have a look, links are in the description. And do not forget, Azu does personal one-to-one training, okay? So let's not forget that. If you can't make it down to the dojo and you don't want to do the online training, then personal training with Azu is the way to go. In conclusion, now there are many reasons that can really put you off going into Aikido, but I would wholeheartedly say try it, look around. Both Azu and I have done Aikido for many, many years. I would not change that, okay? Aikido is more than the sum of its parts.
Aikido's been ideal for me working on the doors. Karate, kickboxing, Thai boxing, that wouldn't have worked for me.
Yeah.
Because I can't go around punching and kicking, so it's been ideal for me.
Yeah.
But it's about sticking with it and not assuming in any martial arts you can use it on the street after 6 months of training.
Yeah.
It's never going to work like that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Anyway, we'll see you on the next video.